Hello Victorians! Welcome to the special double feature overview for Dev Diaries 176 and 177. Starting off, we will cover Dev Diary 176, which goes over the many improvements and changes to characters as well as how they are presented to the player with the upcoming Update 1.13. Note that all visuals, values, and names are still a work in progress and may be subject to change. The previous character system left much to be desired, with some roles being very impactful if the right character were to be chosen, and others barely getting a passing thought. With Update 1.13, we take the first steps to real changes in how Victoria 3 approaches characters. The principles that guide the new approach to the character system going forward are: characters are player-facing avatars of specific ideological groups, social classes, or other groups in your country. Characters should be surfaced to the player in proportion to their importance. Characters are not solely defined by their job. In keeping with these new principles, the first and most important change to characters coming in Update 1.13 will be the National Cast. The National Cast has many benefits that will help us going forward to do more with characters in the future. One immediate benefit is that historical characters no longer need to be forced into a job to appear to the player. This has the knock-on effect of allowing the interest group system to be more logical, with fewer instances of 50-50 chances of historical characters showing up. Now, leader ideology selection will be a single weighted pool. Tying together with the new system is a new character stat, Prominence. This new stat has two major purposes. One being to more easily allow the player to see which characters in their country hold positions of power, and two is to add more nuance to how characters gain and hold on to power. In the old version of the character system, the popularity stat served as an all-in-one metric, representing both how popular they were to the general public and the level of influence inside their interest group. That's now been split, with prominence dealing with a character's interest group and popularity dealing with how the public feel about said character. Prominence as a stat is gained from a number of different sources, with some of the secondary being traits, events, and their popularity. The primary source of a character's prominence stat is their role, however. Some new roles have been added to the list of roles. Magnates are a new role that will have a big impact with the upcoming scripted content for Japan in the Great Wave, but aren't exclusive. They are landowners or businessmen of great wealth. They have a home state and holding that will influence their prominence gain from said holding/home state's revenue. A more minor change is coming to the loyalty stat. This takes the place of interest group approval for some things, such as coups. It incorporates the approval of their interest group, how well their own ideology matches the laws of the nation, and modifiers from events. This is planned to be expanded on in future updates. One issue that has been in the game for a while, the waves of politically radicalized toddlers, has been ended. From now on, characters will not have an ideology until their 16th birthday. Even historical characters with preset ideologies and characteristics will wait to enter the political arena. In keeping with our stated goals for generals and admirals to be more meaningful, and to also reduce the amount of micromanagement needed for them, Update 1.13 will see the numbers of said characters reduced. Much like the 1.5 era one commander, one formation system, Update 1.13 brings us back to this while maintaining the current more permanent formations of the modern game. Commanders of said formations will now be able to be assigned and unassigned without the need to worry about these characters disappearing. With the new national cast system, they will be able to hang around and be shuffled to different formations as the need arises. With this new one commander to a formation system, it makes the commanders much more important as their skills and orders apply to the entire formation. Commanders will also now have to travel to their assigned formations. The distance from where they are to where they have been assigned will affect how long the travel may take. Alongside this change are a few others. Commander rank is now more important than the size of their command when it comes to political influence. There is now a penalty for unnecessary promotions, meaning you'll have to give some real thought to your commander promotions. A commander is now able to take part in multiple battles simultaneously, with a higher rank tying to how many offensive battles they may fight in. Command limits are now affected by some tech advancements, reflecting the increasing size of militaries in the game's later years. The death of a commander is not an instant doom for their formation. A 30-day grace period is now in place. This dev diary also covers a host of modding-related additions to Update 1.13. These cover many script additions relating to characters and their roles, as well as a few others for triggers and effects. In the interest of time, due to the size of this specific overview and the very technical nature of this section of Dev Diary 176, you can check this out as well as everything from the Dev Diary in the link below. Next up, we will cover Dev Diary 177. This diary primarily covers the new ship designer as well as a few other ship-related subjects such as flagships and the new ship purchasing treaties available in the Great Wave. Firstly, when we set about implementing a ship designer, our aim was to make ships and the Navy matter more for your strategic decisions and not get bogged down in useless details. We have focused on Victorian-appropriate design choices and the more big-picture side of things. Improving historical accuracy and flavor wherever possible were also priorities. Ship modifications can be applied to 4 attributes of your ships: armor, damage, speed, and supply capacity. Armor determines how much damage they are able to take. Damage is how much hurt your ships can dish out. Speed will affect how quickly your ships move on the world map. And supply capacity is how many supplies a ship can carry on board when not connected to a supply network. Picking different modifications will also be reflected on the 3D model of the ship in the preview window, and within battles. These modifications can also affect other stats beyond just one, both positively and negatively. Balancing these will be a major goal when you're looking to build new classes of ships. The cost to build a ship is tied to the level of ship modifications for said ship. There are low, medium, and high levels for modifications, each representing a 1, 2, or 3. These, along with wildcard slots, are multiplied with the base cost for modifications. Roughly, this translates to an all-medium ship being about double the cost of an all-light ship of the same type, and an all-high costing double of the medium. A handy graph in-game helps display this cost increase. To help with managing your designs for ships, there are templates. These save the ship type and all the modifications for the ship together. Templates can have their own names to help with organizing them. You're also able to edit an existing template freely if, for example, your new frigates just have to have some big guns on them. If you edit a template for a ship that has already been built, that will mark all of those ships as now being outdated. These outdated ships can be given an order back to port and retrofit to the new template, the cost of which depends on the specific changes. Wildcard modifications are a special type that are different depending on the ship type. They can have a host of different effects, such as medical stations to decrease the amount of crew damage you take in combat, to patrol boats to increase the ship's blockade strength. Flagships are the pride of your navy, a symbol to the rest of the ships in your fleet. You can only have one flagship at a time, and as to what ship is your flagship, that's up to you. The most modern dreadnought? Maybe your oldest ship of the line? Anything in between. You make that call. All that needs to be done is to find which ship you want to make your flagship and click the Make Flagship button at the bottom of the window. Doing so will give you a few options to customize the ship. Currently, said customizations are still being worked on, and will be shown in the coming Art Dev Diary. Now you may be asking, what does a flagship actually do? Firstly, your flagship will increase your involvement in a strategic region. A flagship being in a successful naval battle will award you extra prestige, but beware that the opposite is also true. If your flagship is in a battle you lose, you can expect your nation's prestige to suffer. Coming in Update 1.13 is a new system for being able to trade or sell ships and treaties with the new treaty article Ship Transfer. Whether you just want to get rid of your old wooden-hulled ships to make way for the shinier ironclads, or trying to secure the trust of a new ally, you can now target ships as tradable goods like goods and states have been previously. With that, we once again come to the end of this Dev Diary overview video. The full Dev Diaries can be read on our forums in the links below. The next Dev Diary will be covering changes to naval combat in Update 1.13, and how gunboat diplomacy works in the Great Wave. Thank you for watching!